Straight into recording. Hi, welcome to The Witch in the Woods. I thought it was about time to do another reading about Ukraine, and it's all a bit hurried this week. I've sort of just got back from work, and because I've not really had time to prepare, I thought this would be a really good time to do another reading. I've done a few, but events didn't feel significant enough to bother publishing them. But now I'm feeling a real drive of adrenaline, and what's getting me going is I've just seen a video on YouTube about the nuclear threat that's been issued at Ireland and at Britain, and it pretty much said we can wipe you off the face of the earth with a tsunami. And I kind of thought, yeah, that's the gist of what I really need to do a reading about. I've been kind of concentrating on Ukraine, but the issue really is, what is Russia's threat to the rest of Europe? What is the significance of these events, and will they carry further? So I think maybe that's the area that I need to concentrate on. So I'm going to do a very quick and hopefully unfiltered tarot reading about that situation, about Russia's threat to Britain, to Europe, how much they intend to back up their words, what kind of situation will this reveal, where are we heading in this situation. No, Jack, you're staying in. You're staying in. You've been neutered yesterday and you are staying in. Excuse my cat. No, no. Okay, sorry, but I dropped a contact lens, which means that I have two right contact lenses, which means that I can't see a thing close up. Jack! Jack, no. No, I'm not editing. You're staying in. You're staying in. You are. Nope. So anyway, I didn't want to edit this. If I edit it, it's because of the cat having a paddy at the door. Okay, so yeah, the situation is really a question of how much should we be concerned about Russia. So obviously Russia has the largest nuclear weapons in the whole wide world, and nobody builds up that kind of weapon arsenal. Okay, carrying on. This is going with the flow. Obviously nobody builds up that amount of nuclear threat without wanting to wave its large round testicles in your face. And that's obviously what Putin has been planning, or Russia has been planning, for some time, to be the biggest bully in the playground. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a reading. And I'd really like to look at the issue of how much of a threat is Putin. So I'm going to do the Celtic Cross again. The underlying situation is a very rational and logical man who may be sort of in control of tactics and logical logistics, planning and strategy. He's obviously thinking about his next move. He's thinking very carefully, and he's using the cold iron of reason. He's also pointing up two fingers to the west right now, and I think he's prepared to follow through with that, pointing two fingers at Europe and at America and at the West. And part of it is Finland joining NATO. This is riling him quite a lot. He sees that as a very bold, unveiled threat in his direction. So he doesn't want these forces on his borders. And in his mind, he is seeing this as rational justification for following it through if necessary. I don't know what his own defence would be, because surely that is self-annihilation. But perhaps he's one of these people who thinks, well, we have a bunker, so sod everybody else. So this is the underlying situation. Crossing this situation, the Queen of Pentacles. Now, it's funny how the Queens do keep crossing this male energy. The Queen of Pentacles is financial nurturance. Now, I see this card as Ursula. I've forgotten her name, I'm afraid, the head of the EU, Ursula maybe put it that. And she obviously feels she is holding financial strength here. She's holding financial strings. And she looks quite cunning about it. She looks quite wily, like she knows how to cut the legs out from under the financial strength of Russia here. I get the idea there's secret talks and secret plans going on in the background here. And they're to do with, of course, the resources, the gas and the oil that Russia has, depleting that power of Russia financially. And obviously there is a sense of financial strength about this, financial resilience and stability and foresight. I'm going to put this down and carry on reading. I think I want to say more about that, but I don't know what it is yet. Rebirth. It's got something to do with her hair. Makes me think of rebirth. A dawn of a new day. Something about the resources, perhaps, being channeled into Europe instead of into Russia, which would give them a greater strength. Now, I've said this before, Ukraine is full of resources. It is the breadbasket of the world. It's got a lot of wealth it's sitting on. And obviously this is partly what this war is all about. So above the situation, everybody is playing it calm, cool and collected. There is a sense of, focus on that card, go on. Oh, good grief. Yeah, there is a sense of detachment, a sense of not rising to the occasion, not grey rocking is the technique, isn't it? If you're finding yourself in a very abusive, very violent situation with somebody who may be sociopathic, psychopathic, somebody who is threatening you and trying to get a rise from you, then it's a very good idea to grey rock, to not react to and not escalate this conflict any further and not lose your own centre and your own cool. So there's a sense of detachment. There is a lot of female energy here, which may be adding a voice of reason to the hysteria of these men. A very cool, calm and collected female essence, influence. in relation to all these threats towards Europe, I'm kind of wondering what that signifies. The the swords are weapons of reason and rationale, so they're also barring their own weapons, but they're doing it with their backs turned to the whole threat, the whole issue. It's like, your words don't scare me, you can't, you know, sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but names will never hurt me. They're kind of putting their back up against those threats and trying not to sort of escalate, trying not to give Putin the rise that he's after in some ways. Below the Ace of Pentacles, subconsciously call for a new beginning, calling for a new financial stability, a new direction financially in Europe, not to rely on Russian resources, not to give your power away in that way. I need not to even think about fossil fuels anymore. The bear is emerging from the cave very sneakily, and the bear is Russia. It can also be Finland. Now I see this as Russia, this bear. It's a tiptoe towards a new financial beginning. Now I wonder if that is the other people in power who have hold of purse strings that could be damaged by this. They are tiptoeing out of a dark shadow there. They are making their way towards a new financial beginning. I would say that that is Putin slightly endangered, you know, by watching his own back there a bit, because he may have upset a lot of people who have not really agreed with his policies. I see tiptoes in the shadows there, and the strength of the Russian bear, the big daddy, the big men. I think oligarch is a word that is thrown around a lot, but there's those who are not wanting, those who want financial stability and are not enjoying the scenario as it's being played out. Below, I'm really drawn to this card on the top here, which I'm not going to pull, I'm just going to draw it out. And this is thinking of new ventures, new avenues, turning towards and imagining new ventures. But I'm not going to use that as part of the reading, it's just relative to the Ace of Pentacles, I think. This little tiptoeing bear. In the past, King of Pentacles. Now I don't only see that as Russia being quite dominant with wealth and being quite comfortable and regal with wealth. I also see that as Zelensky, who has been sat on a lot of power and a lot of wealth and has maintained his position and his power. In fact, he has shone in the eyes of the world, so he is the king of this situation. But this is a passing influence now, so I'm wondering where this leads to, because obviously the attack on the Donbass region is a claim for splitting Ukraine and claiming a part of it. It's totalitarian tiptoe, as we like to call it. So as for this character, I'm just wondering, watching carefully but knowing he has the firepower the flames burning behind him are the power, especially the military power, that may be accumulating on his side. So he's got that sort of he hasn't got the manpower. I'm trying to think of two things at once here. Manpower may be dwindling, but reserves and actual resources are building. Ahead, the Seven of Swords, and I see this as Putin trying to scheme and manipulate and come up with some strategy. It can indicate a Machiavellian approach to logic and resources and cunning. So somebody is scheming about how he can win out, how he can look like he is winning out here, how he can look like he is saving face a little. How can I make this all look like the sun is shining out of my bottom at the end of the day? And he's on the edge of his seat. He is forced back against a wall. He's shoved into a corner. All of those allegories. Yeah, so scheming and trying to save the day. Also, it's deep and it's dark and it's Machiavellian. It doesn't care now because there's too much loss of face, so it's all ego based now. At this point it really is about one man and his ego. So I'm seeing that ahead. And these threats he's bandying around, it really is the darkest side of humanity is emerging here. And it's taking a face in Putin, can I focus on that? In Putin's megalomania, really. So this is some side of humanity that is emerging, that everybody else has managed to keep under control, but it's erupting, and it's erupting for a reason in one very sick man, one very ego-ridden individual who is trying to save face. I'm going to come back to this because I know there are questions that would raise. So I'm getting this one glimmered at me as well in relation to the Seven of Swords, this Machiavellian man, this very detached female energy. I see this squashing this threat as though squashing an insect under your foot. Like this threat is an insect underfoot. I'm very cool, I'm very calm, I don't, you know, your words are not scaring me and I could crush you like an insect. The combined energy of Europe, of allies, which is a side that we don't really see when people threaten us with nuclear annihilation. We kind of go, oh, our weapons are bigger. This is a very cool, I will crush you underfoot stance. I'm going on, I'm moving on. Okay, so, yet again. So underneath, as the situation, as people in the situation see themselves, as Europe see itself. Now, this came up before, and it came up in another reading when Zelensky met Ursula, and they said they were going to rush forward their joining of the EU. And so I see these two figures as Europe and Ukraine working in harmony, very much in harmony. I think very much getting on, very much having a lot of rapport between these two people. Very harmonious energies, union, partnership, cooperation. How others see the situation, the star. That is a lovely idea of healing and ultimate healing, ultimate saving grace. The whole situation being healed, light at the end of the tunnel. Now this is weird, but I'm getting pouring the water of love on Mother Russia. I mean, we've been at Cold War with Russia for so many years that, you know, healing those two conflicting forces would be a lovely ultimate healing outcome, wouldn't it? So I love that card. Obviously it'd be nicer as the outcome, but the star pouring the healing waters on the situation. That's tricky, because obviously while I'm thinking of this, oh, this is lovely healing, I know that people who've been trapped in Mariupol, people who are in the east, the situation is now escalating for them. I'm moving on. Go away, Archie. I love you, but go away, you nuisance. No. Well done. Okay, so hopes and fears. The 9 of Wands are it's also the ability to heal from wounds, but still feeling wounded by the whole situation, feeling on the back foot, you know, feeling very much afflicted, mentally, emotionally exhausted, barrage after barrage after barrage of attack. There's a light on the horizon though. There is a healing on the horizon, a dawn of some kind of chance to heal, chance to retreat from the fight, lick your wounds, you know. There is a sense of needing time to recover, needing to acknowledge your PTSD, all of that. So that's a hope and a fear in itself, wrapped up into one. And a possible outcome, best outcome, King of Cups. Now then, I like that, but I don't know why. So the King of Cups obviously is a very magnanimous, very benign, beneficial influence. He is a figure of authority, but he also has the ability to work with emotional content, empathy, with understanding, with compassion. And I see this as an outside force as well. A very jolly, very large, man coming to the aid. So I feel a very large figure. Either physically, I do feel like physically large. I'm almost feeling of Kim Jong, no, the guy in China. Yes. Now that's weird. That's weird. I don't know why I said that, but some ally who has the ability to pour water on love and compassion over the fire. That's all I'm saying about that. Also, I see that as Biden a little, and somebody, maybe more than one person, offering the hand of love and compassion. As an outcome, the King of Cups. I also see it as Zelensky, obviously. But I see it as very much somebody coming to the rescue. A very strong man coming to the rescue with putting a hand out to save the underdog, kind of. Now then, on this card ahead, we got what I saw as Putin, and very much his manipulation, his sort of trying to save face here, trying to make it all look shining on him. The two figures surrounding him, above him on either side of him though, are this female who is very calm, collected, dispassionate, but not threatened, very assertive. And this very strong, masculine, loving, kind, and protective paternal figure. And they are both above and towering around on either side of, in protective stance, this card, which is scheming and manipulative and trying to work out how the hell to make this work. A union between these two, in fact, a union between this figure who looks very much like Ursula Le... God, I can't remember her name. To me. And Ursula Le Fleuve. And an alliance with this figure. On top of the Seven of Swords, I'm going to place Strength. So I'm going to throw that one on top of this scheming little figure here. Yet again, keeping power in check with the strength of virginity, the strength of right over might, taming the wild beast. And I would like to put that over that card ahead. And that, this time I see this as the people of Russia. Oops, camera stops after 30 minutes. So I was going to say that this time I see this as the people of Russia. Now, Putin wants his victory parade, doesn't he? He wants, in May, he wants to come out the side of victory, a victory that he didn't win already outright, that he was kind of hoping for, I think. I don't think it's going to go down as well as he hoped. I don't think he is going to be shining through his little victory parade. I think he is going to meet some resistance from his own ranks, from his own citizens, from his own people. When he tries to show off his ego, he is going to meet quiet resistance, put it that way. Strength in quiet, feminine, passive resistance. So, this female energy, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Strength, the Star, it's pouring water on this aggression. It's pouring female nurturing energy on this. And I think this is cosmic. I think this is karmic, that we are going through collectively on this planet. The need to pour water on all this male power, on all this male dominance, on all this firepower, on all this testosterone, call it what you will, and unite those two energies in harmony, so that neither dominate, that they work together, so that there is a chance to build on it instead of just fight with each other. So that is my take on it. The King of Cups intrigues me, so can I think of anything about this card? The Hound is behind him, and oh, I can't focus on that. The Hound is behind the throne, and the Hound is a symbol of loyalty, man's best friend. So friendship, loyalty, a union. Now that is odd. I don't know. That's sending off all sorts of loyalty messages in me. Who is the loyal friend here? It was that Ukraine and Russia were loyal friends, but they are no longer. That was, you know, the loyalty was not to Russia, and I think that's what Russia had a problem with, that the loyalty was not with them. So who is a loyal friend? Because this dog is very significantly, it's got something to say there. It's kind of, it's in the background, but it's very important. This sense of loyalty and friendship and allying with stronger powers, with a stronger king, with the ruler who is in question here. I also see this as Boris Johnson for some reason. Obviously he's a very large man. We have been threatened directly. Europe, England, Britain, Ireland has been directly threatened with nuclear attack, as has Paris and Berlin and London. They are bandying around threats very much so. Who is this loyal dog guarding here? Well, we're guarding each other. We are definitely guarding each other, and we have strength in numbers. Who has Russia's back at this point? Nobody. Nobody has Russia's back. Can you trust who's got Russia's back? Not entirely, I don't think. So there's a kind of strength and complacency in knowing that somebody's got your back right now. So we're going to have to rely on the power of that little loyal hound there. So do I want to say any more? Do I want to use any more cards here? It's also got this man's back. Zelensky here. He knows he's got that at his back as well. Which makes these figures actually look the weakest in this deck, because they are alone. They are kind of fighting alone, trying to work out, trying to plot and scheme, but without the loyalty, without the support. It's all about one man and his fight, you know. So putting strength back over this scheming Seven of Swords. Yeah, that leadership power will be held in check. It's also whether Ukraine can fight that enemy back, or whether that land is lost. So I'm just going to watch out for the Ace of Swords coming round. That is a new beginning, and it's to do with oil and gas and prosperity and resources, and who owns that purse and who owns that power. Because I think Putin is a little too isolated. He doesn't have the backing that he should, that, you know, to actually carry off that war. It's about him, his ego, his parade, his threats, and he sits at the opposite end of the states room of these people. He hasn't got them, you know, they're not arm in arm, they're not pally, you know, so one person alone is a vulnerable person. Anyway, I'm going to move on, and I've been talking for ages, so where am I going? I've got the same old decks because I know them well, and I like to work familiar decks. I don't know how people can own 200 decks and know their way around them. So I'm just going to... No, I'm not. I'm going to pull this one and I'm going to wrap it up. So these are very psychic tarot, and I think they always have the answer. They always do. If you don't muddy the answer, then you will see that they have the answer. So I guess, what are the questions? The question is, how much of a threat is Russia to Europe, to the West? How much is the threat of nuclear war real? Ooh, now then, the solar plexus chakra, that's not good. That's the seat of power, isn't it? The grinding of two egos clashing. So yes, there is very much a nasty power issue, karma going on here. It's a matter of pride. It is a matter of pride, a matter of strength, and a matter of my image. So yeah, we're enmeshed and mired in this solar plexus energy. Above it, triumph. I don't think he has the strength that he thinks he has, Putin. I don't think, when it comes down to it, he is not going to win the day. I don't think it's him who's going to win this day. I don't want to say what I want to say, but you know what I'm thinking. Okay, so Let's put that over this nasty, messy solar plexus issue. Triumph here. So the question is, what's going to happen in the Donbass and with Russia's advances and with territory that it wants to take there? So, I pulled out these two cards. Home and love. Now then. Love begins does not imply that everything's going to turn out fluffy if he gains that region. I would say that foundation and achievement and love begins is the aid and union and collective willpower to secure this homeland, this home area. I think strength and aid may be coming in that will help this situation. The rainbows are very positive, rainbows after the storm. You see how those two cards really do sort of sing together, don't they? The healing water is being poured on there. I don't want to take them separately, they go together, definitely. So sending that healing love and that water to this home, this issue of whose home is it? Whose house is this? So what will happen, do you suppose, in that situation? Destiny. The destiny of this country is very much, well, it's of great importance to the world at this point. So, by right, what do you think that destiny should be? So have you got anything to tell us about this? Discontent and boredom. I wonder if that's the people who are actually fighting this war. The ones who are actually being sent into this area. You can't really win a war if you haven't got the backing of your troops. If that willpower isn't really there. I mean, you might say, oh, it's a war and now we can conscript soldiers, but you have to get those soldiers to be on your side. I see that as people turning away from it, really, turning away from the whole issue, turning their back on it, walking away, discontent. Yeah, so discontent at home, discontent in the ranks, and I kind of see this little ivory tower here, as being out of touch with this mundane person on the street. So I don't think they're going to have the strength of a military that feels it's in the right and it's going to win. I'd really like a definitive answer that says retreat or something. I'm going to pull one last card. Fertility. Ukraine is a very fertile land. That's kind of sovereignty, fertility, maintaining its own physical borders, its own physical autonomy, there's a word I can't think of, integrity, and those resources are, they are power in this situation. I see that as you really have to be whole to be, you know, bring up this issue of fertility and abundance, and it's the seed in the egg. Is there anything to say about that? I'd like to say this is a sign that Ukraine will win outright. Obviously right now it's not looking that way. It's looking like Ukraine is falling apart a bit. So fertility is the height of summer, the height of the growing season, the height of the sun there. When the sun is in its strength, the zenith, when the world is at its most fertile. You see that? When power has reached its peak. So, maybe events will take a significant turn, or will take a significant victory at that time. We will aim for that. I think that's what I'd like to say about that card. So hopefully this yet again, these homes that are being lost, these people who have had a horrible time. The whole country has had a horrible time. Now the whole world's being threatened with horrible time. Thanks for that one. Yeah, we could all do with seeing a bit of that love and stability being poured on this people's homeland, basically. When it comes to the threat, this threat of nuclear exploitation is what I want to call it. I don't want to call it power, I want to call it exploitation. Then I think it doesn't stand up in the light of day. I don't think it's going to triumph. Yes, I'm going to put the card of pouring love on that one, and the other cards, destiny, fertility and discontent and boredom. So is that a full reading? Does that sort of clarify the situation? Is there anything else? I'm just going to pull one other card just to add a different flavour. Positive change. Parvati. So things will take a positive turn. Yeah, things are beginning to take a positive change. So I'm going to hold out as some hope remaining that things can take a positive change, a positive turn in the next few weeks, the next couple of months, and that we will see that positive change in this situation. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'll just turn it over. There's always one more card. Saint Germain, work your magic. Yeah, if Saint Germain send him into that situation, send in that violet flame, transmute all negativity, and yeah, work magic on that situation. Is that the Ascended Masters, the higher beings, are indeed working to shift things about a bit. So yeah, and work your own magic, I guess. All the positive feelings that you can send into it will help. But this situation could be changed by thought, by belief, by stop chasing that poor little fly, Mungo. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. So transmuting that negativity from within for the whole planet, for everything in that situation, to maybe bring a brighter day, to bring positive change to the whole area, the whole karmic. Like, do I want to swear in this? But you know what it is karmically. It is down the plug hole, like, so raising that energy and transmuting it from within and without. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that made some sense. I think I've talked for hours. I've gone through one whole recording session. Thank you if you stayed to the end. Let me know your comments about that. If you are not tired of talking about it and worrying about it by now, in the box below, in the comments below, and it's, his time is up, I reckon, Putin. These events will bring his little hubris crashing. At least I hope so. And maybe we might have to take one for the team, you know, but I hope they... If he does send one, please send them back. Hey. We'd like to know that he was out of the picture. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope to speak to you all again soon. Cheers, bye.